Hey everybody, let me talk in this video and more details about properties and method. So going back, I already added this one. I don't care about it. I want to remove it. Also, I added button. I think this one I want to remove it. So looking back to our simple calculator, which has just two input field and result and this one. So now let me talk in details about properties. We said if I have this object, which is if you see here when I drag it, I cannot see the name, but if I go to the text of it, for that reason we need to understand the XML. If you see, you can click on it, you see the name of it, edit text. So when I want to connect to this one, I have to go to the code and I define instance from that class, whatever name I want to give it. Then I would say, hey, this class I wanted to connect with this object. So this object have to have unique ID. If I give it ET number one, so I want to access to it, I say, hey, ET number one equal edit text because I need to do casting search in the UI for object, name it r.id.et number one. Then he will connect to it. Now think about you want to change it to different name. You change edit text, name it number one. So if you go back to the code, you will have error because he don't now hear what you mean by number one. You have to update it ET number one. You don't have to update this name, but you could update it for naming convention. So same thing, if I do it for the number 2, you say, hey, this is text number 2. You say edit text number 2. Okay. When you want to access to it in the code, you would do it here on ET number 2. You know, we could do it from this way, or you could do it from UI, but he already now changed it from UI. So if you go here, you will see it. He already changed this one for us, the name ET number 1. He changed already this one, ET number 1, number 2. But there is some errors happen because the pinning, we just remove the object and there is a problem in the constraint. So now this is not my goal for problem constraint other stuff and all this. So let me just remove all the objects because I'm not interested in. So hey everybody, let me start in this video by talking in more details about properties and method. So looking for a layout here, I will drag text field. If you see when I drag text field, to access to this object from the code have to have unique ID. So let me name it text view show. Okay, so now I want to access to this one from code. You know how I access. First of all, I have to know the name of this object. The name of this object is text view. So I have to get instance from that class. This is first point. So text view, give it any name. I give it name show. Now I want to connect this variable to this object in UI. So how I connect it? I say, hey, in the on create, I will say text view equal find the view by ID r.id in my resource look for object name it text view show. Now here I connected to text view show, but now this is UI, this is class, so I need to do casting. So I open a bracket, do casting. What we mean by casting? Mean to change it to same data type of the source or the destination. So this is text field, I have to do casting for text field. Now hey, this is object as a class. I have properties and methods. So if I want to set, I said set text will come from main on create. Because I could access to properties. Now if I just click run, I was really easy to access to that properties when anyone click on the button. So just I want to give you more refresh, so just if you already understand this tutorial from the first one, you don't have to continue, but if you want to get more information, please stay with me and let you understand more details. So yes, see, he say, hey, welcome from the create because someone create the object. Now if I go here and I try to add more objects, so I want to add, for example, button. But if you see my layout's really bad, so it's better for us to add constraint here, constraint here, constraint here, just make it down, add button, constraint, make it out, add constraint here and constraint here. So now this is button. I want access to this button from code. First of all, you need to define method. So let me name it BioClick. You could do it in the method way, or you could access to it in the same way you access to the object. So how we do that? Let me name it this one BioClick. Okay. Now I want to access to this object from the code. If you go here in the design, what's the name of this one in the code? Name it button. So I have to go here and define variable, name it button, and this button should be BioClick. Now this BioClick have to connect with the button. So BioClick equal find the view by ID, not finish, find view by ID r.id.button. Now I'm connected with the button. Now this object need to cascade to the destination, so I have to change it to the button, so I could able to change this one to the destination. Now let me just add space so you'll understand. Now this button I want to access to the properties. Just I will say, hey, set text. So change the title to click on now. So now whenever the app started, he will directly show as a click now on the button. This is just as a property. So to access to any properties, same as Java class. Think about it. This is Java class. When you define something, instance from text field, instance from button, you define instance from the class. And any class have properties and have method. Did you see how we access set or get on our normal class? Same thing here. See, he asks us for click now. Now I want to when someone click this one, show me anything. I don't want to use the old way using XML. I need to use only the code. As I told you, this object have properties and method. We talked about properties. What about method? Okay, I say button dot set on click listener. Just make sure. See, set don't start set capital. You will not work. Start word set everything small. Then on first character capital. On then click first character capital, then write word new, then see he asks you for on a click listener, make sure write first character on, he will do autocomplete, just do enter, he will implement all this one for you. So this one will fire up whenever anyone click on the button. So let me take this one and move it here and say, hey, bulk button is click it. So now when anyone click on the button, this is event. When anyone click on the button, I will change the title of the label to button is click it. But normally I cannot access to this button as I know. You don't know, I'm sure. But this one is event, and because this one will work as UI, so I should treat it as different thread. Because different thread, you cannot access it from normal object. So you have to define this object as a final. So you could use it in the thread, because always always the طبعا let me make sure not here the final, sorry, I added the final app. Make sure just copy this part and move it here, final text view, so you could access to it, because final does mean he's not able to change, so I just move it down. So now running this one, you will see how we could change the data. So let me see. I just want to show in this video how you do change the properties, change method, just give you more practice. So now if you click on the button, this one have to change. See, button is click it. So there's two ways to access to the button event, either from properties and method of the button, of the object button, or from as you see before, from the UI, and you say, hey, directly from UI, you add to the button word on a click, you say bio click, and you just go here and you say, hey, this one need implement, you go and implement it, and instead of all that work, you just move it this one, button click it for whatever, just set the object that you wanted. So that way and this way, like this is not way that you wanted, for example this way, whatever, you could define it here, you could define it from public. I don't want to bother you and make you don't understand the thing, so make sure you follow same pattern. First you define the object, then you initialize it in on create, then you access to it from any method. This is the same work that we did before, but before we did it using object properties and method, and here using XML. Feel free to use anyone that you like to use, because all of them are same. Sorry, wait a second and let me see. Yeah, click here, same thing. Yeah, here we done, and thank you for watching.